this?
What do you mean? What is this?
That's not a Hawaiian shirt. That's a Wrangler shirt. What is that part of your Garanimals? What was that? Yeah, so Rick couldn't be here today because something having to do with saddles.
Yeehaw!
Hello, welcome to Bardicaggravation. I'm Kent. That's Brandon. No, Rick's not here.
No, not today.
Rick couldn't be here for personal reasons that we're not allowed to talk about, even though we already did. Today we are going to talk about the Barbarian in our series comparing DC20 to D&D classes. So we always do just the first two levels because the DC20 subclasses aren't out yet. And now that the D&D 24 classes don't get their subclass till level 3, all of them. Sorry, Cleric, it sucks. We can just compare the first two levels. The base class, you don't need to know what the subclasses are to know which one is better yet. What we're going to do is talk about the 2014 Barbarian and then let you know what the changes were with the 2024 Barbarian, because not with every class, but with the Barbarian, they are better. Level 1, we're going to start with D&D. The level 1 D&D 2014 Barbarian, what do they get?
So, the main thing they get, which everybody likes...
What do they get?
Well, let me tell the folks what they get.
You just get to... Yeah.
You're gonna make me really angry!
Oh, he's doing a little... I get you. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is great.
They get rage.
Big surprise.
It's their big thing. It's a bonus action you can take. You can do this twice per long rest. You can enter a rage. You get mad about something and just... Rah! It lasts for a minute, and it gives you advantage on strength checks and saves. It does a couple other different things. It gives you more damage on your melee attacks.
+2 damage on your strength melee attacks.
Oh, +2 damage on... but the really cool back end thing of it is you're resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Yeah, physical damage.
So
so you get half damage from those things.
So when you're
while
raging,
you're raging.
Yep.
So yeah, 1 minute bonus action, +2 damage on strength. So it's not, you're not shooting a bow at somebody or using a rapier. That's not going to work. What they did in 2024 is the rage lasts for 10 minutes.
That's a long time.
It's pointless. I don't see what you would need to rage for 10 minutes. There's no battle that's going to go on for 10 minutes. You get 2 of these every long rest, but with the new rules, you can regain 1 use of it on a short rest. Now you get it on any strength attack. So before it was melee. You can only do it with a melee weapon, an axe or something. Now if you have a thrown weapon, because that uses strength, if you want to throw an axe at somebody's head or throw some monkey poop at them, now you can also get that extra damage on that, the +2. So it doesn't just have to be melee.
The D&D 2014 Barbarian level 1 also gets something called unarmored defense. So
yeah.
When they're not wearing armor,
which they never will be,
you can add your constitution to your dexterity and your base level 10 for your armor class.
Right.
If you're a beefy person, you get a higher armor class, not wearing armor.
He used to believe that this meant if you were wearing a loincloth, this was your unarmored defense. Because you're a barbarian, and of course you're wearing a loincloth.
Yeah, you're not wearing anything.
You could be naked.
Yeah, how about... You're just.
So then the other thing they get, which all the marshals get now, is everybody's all excited about these martial masteries. A barbarian gets 2 of them at first level. So there's 2 weapons you can have. You know, if you take the axe has cleave, which means you can attack one person and then another person within 5 feet of you. And I don't know if you do the same damage or not. It's not important, but everybody thinks this gives you more choices. It doesn't. Again, D&D is the illusion of choice, and here's some more. So your weapons finally get to do something unique to each weapon, which they should have been doing for the last 10 years. It's another thing added to what you do on your turn, but it's not more choices of what to do on your turn. It's choices you have a character creation. Oh, and on a long rest, you can change out one of those masteries. So if you're a master of the axe and the throwing axe because you're a barbarian, you can wake up after 8 hours of sleep and now you're a master of the spear or the sword because you learned how to be an expert while you were sleeping. I know it's a fantasy game, but come on. There's the verisimilitude. So you get these weapon masteries, but as we say, DC20 with the weapon masteries is going to be all hold my beer. Hold the entire case. Because while the barbarian gets 2 weapon masteries, The Barbarian in DC20, like all martial classes in DC20, at first level gets weapon maneuvers. They get 7 weapon maneuvers. Combat maneuvers, sorry. Not weapon maneuvers, combat maneuvers. 7 different choices of what you can do on your turn. At first level. So it's not like... The weapons also have... Every single weapon in DC20 has a weapon style. That's their version of weapon mastery, and they all do different things. So you're going to have that anyway, no matter what weapon you're using. But on top of that, you have battle maneuvers, save maneuvers, grapple maneuvers, defense maneuvers, all kinds of crazy fun stuff that you can do. And you don't just pick 2 of them and that's all you know for the rest of your life. You don't just pick one fighting style like the loser marshals do in D&D. You know 7 different fighting styles at first level, because that's what they are. They're fighting styles. You're a battle master. Whether you're a rogue or a ranger or a barbarian or a paladin, it doesn't matter. That's right off the bat. Just not because they're a barbarian, but because they're a martial. They also get rage, don't they?
They do. I mean, that's what makes a barbarian a barbarian. They get the rage.
How does their rage work?
Well, for a minute, they can enter a rage, right? Mm-hmm. And that costs an action point, so it's not like a bonus action.
There's no twice every short rest, long rest. You can do it as many times as you want to.
Right.
You're always going to have action points, and you can replenish your stamina points very easily every combat turn if you want to. So you can rage every turn of combat if that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter when you rest. You're never going to get tired of raging.
Much like the D&D counterpart, where they get 2 damage on their melee attacks, strength check, whatever the it is. They get +1 damage on melee attacks as well. Mm-hmm. So it's not as much as D&D, but it matters more in DC20.
Right, so you're actually, proportionately, you're doing more damage than a +2.
It's
+1 in DC20 is big.
Yeah, it sounds like in comparison, well, I do +2 in D&D, but +1 means more. You also have advantage on might checks and saves, so because
might is strength in this game.
Yeah. Here's where it gets a little bit cooler.
Oh, yeah.
Not only are you resistant to physical damage like you are in D&D,
right?
You're also resistant to elemental damage.
Ha ha ha! I stole your thunder. Get it?
Why? No, elemental. I don't get it. I'm so enraged. But yeah, elemental and physical damage, resistance to both. Oh my god, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because then there's something that's not so awesome. You get -5, which is a big number, to your physical defense, which is your armor class. -5. And that matters in this game because for every... You've seen it if you've seen our other martial class videos. Every time you hit somebody for 5 above their armor class, you do more damage. If you do 10 above, you do 2 more damage. So with that -5 on you, you're going to be taking some brutal hits, which you're resistant to. So you're taking half damage. It almost like it cancels each other out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, coming up at level 2 for D&D, you're getting the reckless attack, which is where you don't care about your defense, so you get advantage on your attacks, but everybody gets advantage against you on their attacks. Here, you're not getting advantage. You're just getting -5 to your physical defense. But it's very easy to give yourself advantage in DC20. It costs 1 action point out of the 4 that you have to just go, I'm going to spend an action point, give myself advantage on this attack. You can do it every attack whenever you want to. So you're going to always have that option. I don't know. I might be missing something.
I think what they did here with the last 2 things, where it's resistance to physical and elemental damage, and the physical damage, they're merging a couple things that a lot of people liked about D&D, the D&D Barbarian, especially at level 3 when you get to choose your subclass. The totem of whatever gave you resistance. Totem of the bear gave you resistance to physical and elemental damage.
Yeah.
Everybody took totem of the bear because that was cool. That's what you did.
Right.
So they took that, and then your physical defense is, like you said, the reckless attack. And they just merged that into one, and this is what you are. This is your barbarian.
Again, we're playing in the beta, so these things are being play tested, and they could all change.
We've only just started playing it.
We've only just begun
to live.
How do you know that song?
Because it's fucking Elton John.
That's not Elton John. It's the Carpenters.
The next thing they get on top of their rage is something called Berserker.
Yeah, it's just a thing you get. You don't have to turn this on, really. There's 4 different things you can do because you have Berserker as part of your thing. You can charge. So if you're making a melee attack, you get 2 free spaces of movement immediately before you attack. You can run up and hit somebody, which I think also you can do extra damage when you do that, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Depending on the weapon you have.
Yeah.
Like if you have a spear, it does, if you do the charge, you're doing extra damage with that. So, all right, then you get your Berserker defense, which is just your unarmored defense.
Yeah.
Same as the D&D one. You don't wear armor, you're going to get 8 plus your combat mastery, which is 1. You're going to get that plus your agility or your might, which is going to be 3 plus 2. So you're going to have 15
ish, yeah. And that's
as
pretty
your physical defense.
That's pretty beefy for a first level character. What is this fast movement thing?
Fast movement, you just get +1 speed. So they should just say you're a barbarian, your space is 6 instead of 5, like everybody else. So yeah, it's nothing you have to turn on, nothing you have to,
it's just
invoke.
An ability you have.
It's just, you have +1 speed as a barbarian, no matter what barbarian you are. And then you can do a mighty leap. I bet you don't know what that is.
Well, usually when you're jumping or leaping, you use your agility. Here, because you're a barbarian, they're going to allow you to use strength instead.
That's true. If you want to. You don't have to. You might be an agility barbarian, and that's just fine. Your agility and your strength might be the same.
Might and agility.
Right.
You put strength. It should be might instead of agility.
Just shut up. What about with the falling aspect of this? You don't know that, do you?
Oh, I should know.
When you fall, depending on your agility score, you can fall that many spaces before you take any damage. Here you can just use your might instead of your agility to calculate your falling damage. So if your might is more than your agility, use that. If it's not, don't use it. That's my advice.
And you can take that to the bank.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So they get something called, at first level, their last thing, it's their flavor feature. What's a flavor feature, Brandon?
It's mainly something like you can flavor yourself. So it's not necessarily rules as written.
Like edible undies?
Yes.
This is the edible undie feature.
Yes.
What flavor is this? What flavor would the Shattering Force is what it's called. What flavor would Shattering Force be if it was
Oh my God, it
flavor?
Baja Blast.
It'd be Baja Blast. Because what this does is if you attack an object, because when you're doing your DIY stuff and you're mad, you just attack all your shit. You throw your tools and you kick the washing machine and you punch through the wall and all of that. So that's what this is. Because you're mad at the door or the chest or the thing, and you get an automatic crit. Which means what?
That means you automatically do +2 damage to whatever you're hitting. What's the armor class of a door?
First of all, it's DC20. There's no such thing as an armor class. Get your shit straight.
Fine.
What's it called?
What's the physical defense of the door?
There we go. It depends on the door. Is it made of iron? Is it made of wood? Did you make your house of straw, brick, or what's the other one? Sticks.
But your +2 hit will probably break open your normal wooden door.
Yeah, and that's a Baja Blast flavor feature, according to Brandon.
Now you can step up to a door and break it open just out of...
Are we still talking about this? Who cares? It's a flavor feature. You can break things. Whee!
Whatever. I think it's one of the coolest features, even though it's a flavor feature. Yeah.
Why?
Because
What's cool about it?
Because it makes you feel barbarian-y. Like you use your brute force to get through shit.
That makes you a barbarian, that you can break stuff? That's the first thing you learn. Right out of the womb, they teach you how to break stuff. Now you're a barbarian. Officially, here's some blood on your head. The blood from the door that you just broke.
Yes. Maybe my barbarian hates killing people.
Maybe it does. Which
the inanimate objects, it doesn't matter. They don't have feelings. Well, I'll kill a door all day long. I'll go into rage and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so if we ever play a Beauty and the Beast campaign, you can be a barbarian and beat up all the silverware. That'd be great for us.
Now I want to do that.
That's level 1 done for both of them. DC20 and D&D. Now we're going to move on to level 2, because that's what we do. D&D 2014, level 2. What's the story?
So we've already talked about this a little bit.
But why are we talking about it again?
Because now this is the level 2 aspect of the D&D 2014 Barbarian. It's the reckless attack feature. So on your first attack, you can decide to go into reckless attack, and on your first attack, you get advantage on
first attack in the combat.
First attack, yes, for your first attack in the turn. Shut up.
First attack of your turn.
Yes.
You can do what he's about to say.
Basically, you have advantage on the attack.
Right.
The downside is that
You have to wear a loincloth.
Well, you had to do that to get your unarmored defense, anyways.
True.
But on the downside on that is attacks against you have advantage.
Right.
So because you're recklessly attacking things, again, it kind of opens you up to being hit yourself.
There's always a price. There's always consequences.
They have something called danger sense. So as a barbarian, you kind of have a natural
Say
ability.
it funny. Make danger sense funny.
So as a barbarian, you have a natural knack for kind of understanding your surroundings and having a general sense of, oh my God, something's about, evil's afoot, danger's about.
Evil's afoot.
So what this does is it gives
Finally.
you this ability.
It's a long prologue to what it does. It's coming. What it does is coming. Please don't walk away. Any minute now, we're going to find out what it actually does. Can't wait.
This gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws.
It
does. It says right there.
Don't believe everything you read.
What does it give?
Advantage on dexterity saving throws when it comes to things that you can see or hear. You have to be able to see it.
So you
Just like the rogues thing. Fireball, dragon's breath, things like that. Not an attack, because that's not a dexterity save, now is it? So, anything that requires a dexterity save that you can see or hear coming at you, you get advantage on it. They improved it in 2024 by saying it's just all dexterity saves. You don't need to see it or hear it. Anytime you're going to make a dexterity save, you get advantage. Isn't that a bit crazy at second level?
What, to be able to quickly dodge
Every
it?
dexterity save, you just have advantage on it?
I think it's great for D&D 2024.
Why a barbarian and not a monk or a rogue? Why don't they get this? Why a barbarian? Big, burly, walking on their knuckles.
Because I said they're just naturally in tune with their surroundings.
That should be a ranger.
Rangers
should be naturally in tune with their surroundings.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense. So you get your reckless attack and your danger sense. Which are pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think that's not terrible.
No, it's good. Mm-hmm. That's what we're used to as barbarians if you play one, and they've improved it clearly, maybe a bit too much.
Anyways, let's move on.
Let's move on. That's a magical. We should go to politician school. I bet we get a lot more subscribers.
Is there a politician
Please subscribe,
school?
like, and subscribe before you forget.
DC20.
DC20
Level 2. Can we get back to DC20 Level 2?
DC20 Level 2. Here we go.
First thing they get.
Oh my God, this is where the fun really begins. Because rage is rage. Aren't we all bored of rage by now? This barbarian gets battle cry.
Ooh.
He's going to demonstrate.
Does that mean I have to cry during battle?
Yet. Yes, you're going to cry during battle because you're losing because you suck. Because you don't like killing people, you only like killing cutlery. So battle cry, it's a shout. It's just what it sounds like. This makes a barbarian a support character.
Yeah.
It's kind of bardish. In fact, it's very bardish. We have a barbarian in our party, in our playtest, and she's done this, and it's pretty cool. So, you get 3 different battle cries you can make, and then the effects of them last till the beginning of your next turn. And you can affect your entire party if they're within 10 spaces of you. So anybody of your choice, not everybody, but of your choice within 10 spaces of you gets the effects of this battle cry that you let out for your entire turn. Well, till the start of your next turn. So longer than your turn.
Yeah.
Why don't you say something?
I'm waiting
If you
for
see something, say something.
Nope. I'm waiting for you to hang your own self with that piece of rope.
First one is called a fortitude shout. And this kind of shares your berserker resistance. So everybody who heard this gets resistant to the next source of physical or elemental damage that they get hit with. So they take half damage from that. Let's hear that cry. What does it sound like? A fortitude cry that gives you resistance. It's a bad touch. Go ahead.
Hold! Their attacks won't hurt that much!
That took a long time.
Yeah.
We'd all be dead by now. But I feel a little fortified. This is called the Fury Shout. And this will give everybody +1 damage on their next attack versus one creature. What does that sound like? I'm really angry.
Attack!
All right, it'll work. It'll get the job done. It's nothing special. It's not going to stand out from anybody else's battle cry, but it gets the job done. The next one is the urgent shout. When they're just not moving with a purpose and everybody's taking too long and you want them to move faster, they get +1 speed for that turn. What does that sound like?
Go! Go now, you bitch!
And now that you've called them names, they might not listen to you. So you just wasted your battle cry because you called us all bitches.
It was very urgent, and I had to make my point.
Try it again and be nicer. You're trying to motivate us, not you know.
Go! Go now! You've got to go! Was that better than saying bitch?
All three of them were just horrible. Just your worst work I've ever seen. But we can't. We gotta move on. It's okay. You've seen him in the past. His monk stances were just Oscar worthy. This is not in his wheelhouse, apparently.
They were Oscar worthy?
Except for the Cobra. What's brutal blows? Brutal blows.
So when you do a brutal or a critical hit, right?
Which means if you roll 5 above their armor class, what you need to their physical defense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you do. Extra point of damage for every 5 you roll above what you need to. So if you do one of those,
you force your target to make a save versus your save DC.
Right. Which
so
is usually around a 14.
It can do a couple of things. On a fail, you can make them lose concentration.
So if they're casting a spell, not anymore.
You become impaired, which means you have disadvantage on physical checks.
Okay.
And you can't speak until the end of your next turn.
So no spell casting for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So against a wizard or
Cleric,
something like a cleric,
sorcerer,
somebody like that,
druid,
it'd be really cool. So you take them basically out of the fight for a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, it's no more magic. I'm sick of it. They lose their concentration. They can't speak. And they're humiliated in front of their friends. And, you know, because they suck at physical checks now, after you punch them and smack them around, you can just grapple them. They can lock them up. You can then slam them and throw them and tie them into a pretzel and...
That's a lot of movements.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you have all the action points for that?
I do.
How many would that be?
20.
You do not get 20.
I have 20?
You do not get 20 action
Ask
points.
Alan, he gave me 20.
Levels 1 and 2, you do not get 5. You do not get more than 4 action points at any round, any turn.
I don't care.
Don't mislead the people.
I don't care.
And then, of course, the last thing you get, any class at level 2 takes a talent. This is your feature that you get. Feat, whatever the fuck it is. You get this one thing you can choose. Ability score increase. You can take, like the martial mastery or the spellcasting mastery.
All kinds of cool stuff you can do. This is how you're going to multi-class, which we're going to do a whole video on the multi-classing system in this game is fantastical. So yeah, there's so many things you can do with this feat to really, it's one little thing you do, it changes everything for your character. That's the Barbarian for everybody, levels 1 and 2. I've never played a Barbarian. You have. I mean, I play tested one once, but it was a joke character. So what do you think? Better, worse? DC20, D&D? What?
I think they're pretty on par with each other. I think DC20 gives you... Dude, you just asked me a question. Let me fucking answer it.
We're just so serious. You're making me uncomfortable. Remember when you were funny?
I am funny, and you don't know how to handle me being serious.
I don't like it. I feel like I'm in a library.
A library.
Library, as Rick would say, yes.
Library. Did you ever say it as a kid? Did you?
No, I was never a kid.
But I think they're pretty much on par with making you feel like a barbarian. The rage, the strong, using your strength, that kind of stuff, using your might strength.
Your might strength, as opposed to
your strength, as opposed to your strength and might are
what
like
other
the
kind
same.
of strength is there?
Oh my god, shut the
might
fuck
strength?
up. But I think level 2 really sets it apart, where you get this battle cry.
It sets it apart.
Sets it apart.
Sets it apart.
Sets it apart. It sets it apart from D&D because
I agree.
you get so much cooler like abilities to do it. And you don't have to stick with one of the shouts. You can choose a different shout when you want to do it. So
every single turn. But you are really lending that support because the barbarian in D&D, there's no way it's a support character, really.
it's a tank. It's a brutal tank. It's
tank.
supposed to hit, and get hit.
Yeah, I got to say, even, like I keep saying, even if it's just the maneuvers, even if they got nothing else but the 7 maneuvers, the Battle Master maneuvers, that would make it better already. And then you still get all the cool stuff with your weapon. You can customize your weapon in DC20. You can make your own. So if you say, I'm having an axe because I like a barbarian axe, you can make that axe do whatever you want to. You got some different points. We're going to get into this too.
Yeah.
And you just go, my axe can do this and this and this because those are the points I spent on it. So it doesn't have to do just what every axe does. Your axe is special. It's a special axe.
That's called weapon styles.
Weapon styles. Well, no, it's
Is it?
not. It's called customized weapon.
But that's what you do.
You choose the weapon style when you
That's
customize your weapon.
Yeah.
So each weapon has its style of what it does. Like if you, a sword will do extra damage to somebody who's impaired, right? Or bloodied or one of those.
Bleeding, yeah. 'cause
Certain conditions that they have, it'll do more damage to them. The spear, yeah, if you run 2 spaces and stab somebody with your spear, you do extra damage. So there's all different kinds of cool things that your weapon can do on its own. And then you can do all these things as well. And speaking of conditions, because those get brought up a lot, and there's a lot of the conditions. It's the same thing with D&D. A lot of these conditions make them confusing. If you really want to learn the conditions, a friend of our channel, his name is Claudio Wild. He just started his own channel. He's only got 2 videos up, but they're very informative on the intricacies and the mechanics of DC20. We don't talk about that stuff too much. We're more about the classes and the flavor and all that. If you do want to learn DC20 and you want to learn these conditions, go check that out. We'll put a link down below. But give him some love and support. It's a brand new channel and he's really informative. If you want to get the PDF for yourself, so you want to learn how to play DC20, link down below. You can get it on his website. If you get the PDF, which is right now in the beta 08, any subsequent versions that come out, you're just going to get those for free. So it's not like you have to buy each new one when it comes out. You don't.
Everybody hates change, but this change is good.
Right. Why do you hate change?
Because I don't like change in general.
Who cares? Bye.
Bye.
Wait. No. Bye.
Please like and subscribe. Bye.